Hi, welcome to CHELSGROWS. I'm Chelsea. I'm on a mission to grow as many food and flower crops as I possibly can here in the Pacific Northwest in Zone 8B. We are at the farm plot today, officially. I'm sitting in the staging area. This is the first thing I laid down because this is the head of my plot. We're on the side we're on the west side. I'm looking towards the east side of my plot. I'll show you guys. We're here. We made it. We have landscape fabric put down. I have most of the plot boarded up, and I just kind of wanted to let you guys know my first steps of breaking ground here. I don't even know where to start. So the first thing that happened was, I think I told you guys in the last video, a farmer was contracted to till our plots. So since my plot was fallow for a number of years, I don't even know how many years, but it just wasn't farmed in, super thick perennial weeds, super thick grass. So he was like, I'm going to plow, disc, and till your plot. So plowing the plot, it's basically flipping the weeds and the grass over. Then he disked it, which I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, the implement is like, I heard it's like an egg beater where it's just kind of like mixing the soil. And then the tilling is what chops everything up and makes everything extremely fluffy. The soil here is amazing, and I've been finding a lot of worms. Worm action. Whoa. So that was on him. I didn't do any of that work. His name's Bobby. He's amazing. Then the next thing I did was I knew I needed to navigate my plot. What I found was when I would come out here, I could only really stand at the entrance, which is like right there, but I couldn't like walk around my plot. The first thing I did, I'll actually show you. I'll take you guys and I'll walk around with you guys, okay? So this is the entry of my plot. That is the weed pile that we've started. The compost pile is like across the farm. So we're like, cool, we'll just start a weed pile on a piece of plastic. We'll deal with that later. But I laid this landscape fabric down first because this is, like I said, my staging area. As you can see, my tools are in the corner. I have like more plastic that I got for free. So this is kind of like my home base right here. Then we raked this side. This is the south side of the plot. Raked it to get out tons of weeds. That's what you see here. All those weeds are from under here. The reason why we wanted to do that is because the guy who farms, who did this for me, that's what he suggested, because he was like, there's so many grass and weeds. It's gonna be a struggle this first year finding the weeds. So I was like, okay. So my husband and I raked it, leveled it out, then set down this landscape fabric. And now we can easily navigate throughout the plot, where before I couldn't. And if I was walking in the plot, I was just ruining this amazing soil. I'll give you guys a look. Look at how nice this soil is. It's a mix between clay and loam, which is amazing. It does mean it does get compacted pretty easily with rain, but it also means it holds on to water really well. So we laid this down up until the border of my plot. As you can see, we also set the border up here. We have a couple of silage tarps. These will just come in handy, and I'll show you in the season how I use these, but I'm going to use these to terminate cover crops. It probably doesn't make sense now, but these are very handy silage tarps, okay? This east border, we retired, and you can tell we were just like, we didn't level it or anything. We just laid it down. We just laid down the landscape fabric and put down staples, and we were like, okay. It is what it is. This is another silage tarp that will come handy in the season. For right now, I'm just staging them just to see how much square footage I had of silage tarp. And then this is the border. My neighbor, he has an amazing operation going where everything's landscape fabric. He controls the weeds. So I want to be a good neighbor, and I want to do the same thing. Because as you can see, between his and my plot, huge weeds. What we're gonna need to do is probably weed this out. And then I want to lay down landscape fabric all the way down so that there's an entire perimeter where anyone who comes to the farm can walk the entire perimeter of the farm. Because for me, I want to be able to travel very easily throughout this plot. I'll show you guys kind of the game plan for today. I'll be making beds this way. So that's north, behind me is south. So I'm situating my beds north to south. The neighbors over there, they do it east to west. The sun here is very strong on this plot, so I don't think it would matter that much which way I oriented my beds. I'm just doing it north to south because I've done some research, seeing that if you situate your beds north to south, then there's more even coverage of sun on your beds. But again, there's so many farmers on this huge plot of land that do it east to west. I don't think it matters. I mean, there's the sun, it's very powerful. So things will grow. That's on the agenda. I also wrote out my agenda. Okay, we're back at home base. Let's chat. First of all, let's drink some tea. I always bring a tea, a huge hydro flask full of tea when I come out here. And my neighbor, her name's Denali, she'll be out here today. I can always share it with her if she wants some tea. Let's do a little tea break. What I have on the agenda today, you guys know me, I love writing stuff down. So measure the north border so we know the what's it called? The width and length that I need to order for landscape fabric. Film a YouTube video. I mean, I'm doing that right now. Prep beds. I want to prep bed number 1 and lay down path number 1. So how it'll work is I'm going to prep a bed and I'll only be standing here on this staging area because you don't want to step in your beds, otherwise it'll compact it with the weight. Because you want, since he just tilled this, he tilled it twice actually, it's so fluffy and amazing, we want to keep that aeration and that fluffiness in our beds. I'll need to lay down landscape fabric for the pathways 1 by 1. The workflow is prep bed number 1, lay down the landscape fabric for path number 1. Prep bed number 2, lay down the landscape fabric for bed number 2, and then so on. So I'm just working up the plot, if that makes sense. It's been awesome, and I've only really been out here a couple times, actually, like weeding, laying down landscape fabric, being out here with my husband Tom. It's been amazing. It's gonna be a lot of work. Of course it's gonna be a lot of work. It's a farm, like it's not gonna be easy. I don't know if I said this, I haven't invested much into this farm, which is amazing. The program I'm doing it through, Black Farmers Collective, they don't make us incubator farmers pay a lease. The nonprofit pays for this land with King County. And so all I need to do is steward it as best I can. All the landscape fabric you saw around my plot so far was left on this plot by the previous farmer who just never came back and grabbed it. So I was like, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to use it. Like, landscape fabric is very expensive. But I did want to show you guys things I did invest in, because I finally did. I went to Home Depot and I invested in some stuff, and oh my gosh, it has made such a big difference. I'm going to cart them out here. So the first thing I want to mention is this Gorilla cart. I got all this from Home Depot except the landscape fabric. This landscape fabric will be for the pathways, and this was provided by the nonprofit. I had a $250 stipend, and I was able to purchase my tools. I have a little toolbox in this cute little basket. This basket was free from one of our neighbors. They left it. We took it. Things I have in here are just like gloves, 100-foot measuring tape, really good scissors. These are harvesting shears and just scissors. Those are always good. A hori, landscape staples, lots of string. I have string to mark out beds. So in this like neon yellow. And then I have this jute twine, which I use this stuff for everything. So I'm going to use it to trellis plants, and I can even use this to trellis plants. String is always good in a garden or in a farm setting. Just everything in the toolbox was basically paid for by the nonprofit, which was amazing. Then I got this head for this hose. So I have a 100-foot hose that I got from Home Depot. That is heavy duty. I used to work in a plant nursery, and it feels like the plant nursery hoses. They're heavy duty and they're kind of heavy, so they're kind of cumbersome to use. But I would rather have this, a heavy duty commercial hose, instead of just like a flimsy garden hose, because those can break so easily. So I have that. I got this head to water, but it seems like very ergonomic. I thought about investing in like a bigger wand, because I'm used to watering with a huge wand from my plant nursery days, but we'll see how this goes. If I don't like it, I'll just return it. This Gorilla cart has been awesome. So it's flat free tires, which means the tires are made out of plastic. The wheelbarrows they provide here, the tires are all like popped out. I'm sure you can imagine we're on a farm. There's a lot of debris, landscape staples, thorns. So I knew I wanted a cart that had flat free tires, which means there's no possibility of them getting flat. I bought this 2 days ago. We have filled this cart full of weeds, like 7 wheelbarrows full, and it's so easy to navigate. And I'm short, I'm 5'2", so it's like it's like the perfect size for me. So if you're looking for a garden cart, stewarding like a small garden or a small farm plot, highly recommend. I'll put everything in the description. This is like the 2-wheel garden cart, and it has flat free tires, but I'll link it in the description, and I think I can even link what I'm talking about like in the video, so I'll link it there. And then this has been the most amazing purchase, is this hard rake. It's called a bow rake, double-sided 16-tine bow rake, lifetime warranty. Didn't know that. I need to look into that. But this is from Home Depot as well. This has been a lifesaver. They do have tools here on the farm provided by the nonprofit, but they're a bit old. And so yeah, I invested a couple $100 with the wheelbarrow, with the hose, with the rake. In like 2 days out here, I'm like, thank God I invested into these things. That's what I've done on the farm so far. No, I haven't planted my transplants yet. I haven't planted any cover crops or flower mixes yet. That's coming. Don't worry about that, girl. It's for sure coming. If you've watched my videos, you know I've grown a balcony garden for the past few seasons. And the number one tip I give you guys is laying out your setup and your infrastructure. I have a very productive, beautiful balcony garden because I laid out my setup, my infrastructure, and I got that down before I even started to think about planting. So I'm just kind of taking my advice from what I've learned from the balcony garden and implementing it here. So yeah, I gotta eat and I gotta get to work. I don't know if this is interesting to you guys. A lot of you guys seemed interested in this journey of mine where, you know, I have this amazing opportunity on this 1/8 of an acre plot. Maybe you guys have a backyard and you're just like, I don't know where to start. This is where I started, bordering off my plot. Another thing with bordering off your plot, it makes it so other perennial weeds is harder to get in your plot, if that makes sense. Because the landscape fabric is a weed suppressant and perennial weeds travel underground horizontally. I don't know. I'm not an expert, you guys. I'm just... Hello? I think there's a plane. I'll try to put as much B-roll as I can in this video to show you guys kind of just the work that goes into this. And you know, it's work not everyone loves, and it's hard work, and your body will be sore and you'll be tired. I've never slept better, which is a good thing. This is me. This will be me for the rest of the year, or at least until the end of the growing season. And then yes, we will get back into the balcony garden. It's just obviously this is kind of a priority and I kind of gotta figure it out. So if you are interested in learning how I turn this bare piece of land, freshly ready to go land, into a productive garden, into a small scale farm this year, please follow along, subscribe to the channel CHELSGROWS, like this video, share it with your friends and family. If you live in the Redmond Woodinville area, follow me on Instagram. Once things get growing and once I have like a workflow, I'll start inviting people out to the garden. Right now I'm just inviting close friends and family, if they want to come out and help and see it. Actually, not even just Redmond or Woodinville. If you live in King County, follow on Instagram. I'll be announcing when I'll have like farm tours. I'm thinking of having classes and workshops, and even people coming out to you pick your own flowers and you pick your own veg. Because I think that's something that's missing in this world, is people feeling and harvesting. And I think that's what makes people understand where food comes from, is when they're doing it themselves, if that makes sense. Follow the channel, follow along. This is going to be a busy, fun season of turning this into something beautiful. Love you, mean it. See you soon. Bye.